Okay guys, welcome back. In this video presentation on day one of week 4, we're going to talk about creating a six-figure a year business. Now as we go through these slides, you're going to see how a six-figure a year business is actually created. In fact, we're going to talk about automating it. Most of it. Not all of it, but most of it. So this is like a turning point in the 6 and 6 program. In week 3, day 5, the last video that you saw, we started to look at our metrics. A critical number is the cost per lead. And we talked about cost per lead and whether it's high or low depending on your business. Now, most of my business has to do with lists. I gather lists, I create lists, and all of my money has come from lists. The millions of dollars that I've made online comes from my lists. There's no there's no shading here. There's no subterfuge. There's no hidden agenda. Nothing. I'm telling you straight the way it is. If I didn't have a list, multiple lists, I would not have made that much money. I would have made very little money, in fact. Lists are everything. And today, as I mentioned a few weeks ago, in a previous week, retargeting lists are the new list kids on the block, and they are extremely powerful. So let's talk about how to create a six-figure a year business. But first, we're going to do a little week in review. So if you remember, in week 1, we started to look at different products that we could promote. And it was in a market that I had absolutely no knowledge of. And when it comes to a brand new market like that, you know, lots and lots of testing is required. You don't really get into a brand new market, a market that you know nothing about, without testing. Well, we did test a banner, a landing page with an email opt-in for this particular product. And the CTR was fantastic. We advertised it on Plenty of Fish, and the Plenty of Fish traffic was good. We ended up with some opt-in subscribers. We also ended up with a very high CTR according to many of the standards that we looked at, but we had absolutely no sales. Now, here's the critical part and the lesson that I want you to learn about that. Going into brand new markets is a time-intensive, steep learning curve environment. In order for you to succeed in a market that you know nothing about, you need to know everything there is to know about that market. You need to test extensively, and that can be very expensive. That's why I get really upset when I hear other like gurus and other people talking about, oh yeah, get into this niche or get into that niche or find a niche. Yeah, once you find the niche, you need to know everything there is about that niche in order to succeed. We talked about being a specialist versus a generalist. Well, the specialist always makes more money. And the reason for that is because they already know who their market is. They know everything there is to know about their profession. They are a specialist in their industry. They don't have to do the research. They don't have to go back to school to understand who their market is. And I mean school in an informal way. They going to the library, doing the research, talking to people, hanging out with people in that market. All of the things that you need to do in order to be successful in a market requires a lot of time and a steep learning curve. You don't become successful in a niche market overnight if you know nothing about it. And that's the lesson of week 1. Now you can test markets. For example, the reason I did that test was to figure out, once in a while, I do go out and test new markets to figure out whether or not it's a really hot market or not. And I can tell it's a hot market by creating a landing page just like we did for this particular product in a market I know nothing about, with an opt-in leading to a sales page. And if we get some sales, any sales, then I know that there might be something there. Then at that point, because the market is interested and they're buying, then I will get interested in that market and I will go through that learning curve. But I don't want to go through that learning curve if the market isn't hot. The market would have to be really hot for me to get involved. So the lesson is test stuff. Yes, go after that niche market and test it out, but test it the way we did it. Test it very inexpensively, cheaply, quickly, and see if there are any buyers there. If they're buyers, then we can get involved in the market, and then we do our research. Then we put the time in to study the market closely. If there aren't any buyers, we drop it. We drop it and we stick to what we know. In week 2, we started getting involved in a market that I know something about. I'm involved in 2 markets extensively: the stock option and trading market and the internet marketing niche. In both of those, I have extensive experience. I've been a trader since 1987. I've been in the internet marketing niche since 1996. I put up a sales page on the internet in July of 1996, selling a report and an audio tape that people had to call me to order with my number in the ad on the internet. And then in week 2, we created 4 headlines, 4 landing pages to test the market to see if they're interested in any of these topics. And that's absolutely critical in any market that you might be involved in or thinking of involved in that you have experience in. If you know the market, you need to test as many headlines as possible, because in most cases, we're not very good guessers. Testing is always required in order to determine a winner. Knowledge of the market definitely helps. Now, I created these headlines fairly quickly, but we started out with 4 just to test the market. Now, it takes time, it takes patience, and it takes money to make this work. But like I said, we're not very good guessers. Actually, the headline that I thought was going to work was the more specific headline at the bottom, which says 3 ways to make $1,000 or more each month using low-risk options. That turned out to be okay. It came in second. The one I thought that would do really well, the one headline was the investment strategy billionaires keep secret. Make 50% per year in interest on money you don't own. I thought that had a lot of curiosity factor. We didn't even get a single opt-in on that. The other headline, the number one reason 99% of all stock traders lose money, got about the same number of opt-ins as the 3 ways to make $1,000 a month. It had specifics in it, and usually almost everyone who teaches headlines suggests that you put the more specifics in a headline, the better it will do. Well, those 2 headlines competed against each other, and they did fairly well. They both got the same number of opt-ins, but they still weren't the winner. Both of those headlines were created on purpose. They were created as a way to generate interest of people landing on that landing page because of the specificity of the headlines themselves. The number 1 reason, 99%. So I had specifics in there. The 3 ways to make $1,000 or more. The headline that won, which is on the left side, what do professionals in the market know that you don't? There was one element in that headline that I thought would generate the interest that it did, although I thought it was the weaker of all 4 of the headlines because it didn't have any specifics in it. It didn't have any numbers in it. But there's one factor in that headline that allowed it to beat all of the other headlines, and that is the question mark. The question mark is something, when you read a sentence and it has a question mark in it, it makes you think. It engages your mind. So it allowed us to get into the mind of the person who's reading that headline just a little bit. But it was enough to get into their mind that created some curiosity, and it generated double the opt-ins of any of the other headlines. So we're not really good guessers when it comes to headlines. Specifics, I think, help, but the question mark in this case won. But the point is, and the lesson is, that we need to test. We need to test multiple headlines all of the time to come up with winners. It takes patience, but it's worth it. What other lesson can we learn from week 2? Well, as you can see, we tried different kinds of backgrounds. Like this one had a yellow highlight over the entire headline, and that actually ended up with the same number of opt-ins as this headline. We didn't do that with our winning headline, but guess what? When we go to test, now that we have a winner, we're going to test a highlighted background on this headline. We're also going to try out different fonts. So now it's a matter of optimizing. Once we have a winner that we know is going to work, the key is to optimize that winner. And that's what we're going to be talking about in future weeks. And in fact, tomorrow when we do landing pages, you're going to see exactly how I optimize this particular headline, the winner in week 2's landing page contest. So in week 3, we found the winner. This headline beat other headlines by 2 to 1 or better. So now we've established a control. That's an absolutely critical component of your success. If you really want to make 6 figures a year, you need to have a control, a headline that you know that is going to work at a cost per lead that can actually help you make money. Now, in week 3 and day 5, we talked about the concept of earnings per subscriber per month. I know what my ESM is, and that helps me to understand how much I can pay for a lead. You also need to know how much a subscriber or a lead is worth to you in order to find out how much you can actually pay for a lead. For example, if I was making $2.38 on a monthly basis per subscriber, then I can pay $2.30 a lead, $3.40 a lead, even $5 a lead, because I know in 2 months' time I'll get my money back. Now, I might not be willing to go 3 months. I might not be willing to pay 3 times that $2.40 lead. I might not be willing to pay $6 or $7 a lead. I have done it in the past, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to do it all the time. Now, in some months, I make as much as $5 to $6 per subscriber per month. But generally, it's when I'm having a special promotion or a special product launch. But on average, it's more like $2.38. So I know exactly how much I can pay for a lead. So the next step is to optimize this particular headline. Tomorrow when we do landing pages, I'm going to optimize this even more. I'm going to create variations of this headline and just using type fonts and some background to the headline, and we're going to test it again to see if we can't beat this headline. So how do we actually go about making 6 figures a year? Well, $100,000 a year is only 3 sales of a $97 product a day. That's it. It's about $274 a day, and that's all you need. I've had conversion rates as high as 20 and 30%. Let's say you had a 30% conversion rate on a sales page. You only need 10 visitors to make 3 sales. You can get 10 people to a sales page a day, and if 30% convert, you've got your 3 sales, and that's all you need. With a 10% conversion rate, I only need 30 visitors a day to make my 3 sales. With the traffic funnels that we're going to be talking about, and all the different ways that we're going to be creating traffic and putting them into our funnel, 30 people a day to a sales page is nothing. And a 10% conversion rate is low. But that's all we would need to make $100,000 a year. Now imagine what you could do if you created several $97 products. Instead of making $100,000 a year with 1 product, selling 3 of those a day, you can make $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. How many different products, $97 products, can you create and generate enough traffic for only 3 sales a day? So is the product important? Yes, but it only takes 1 to make $100,000 a year. Now the $97 sales price is the minimum. You really need a price tag of $97 or more. Now if you can create enough value to charge more, do it. Because if you have a $197 product, guess what? You only need 1.5 sales a day to make $100,000. And if you had a $300 product, you only need one sale a day to make $100,000. Now, it's important that the product be evergreen. You only want to be able to do minor updates to it. You don't want a product that you have to go in and constantly tweak, change, and update, forever. You want a fairly good evergreen product that you only have to do minor updates to, and that way you can focus on what's really important that we're going to be talking about in your business. So the question is, should you develop products yourself or should you do PLR? If you develop a product yourself, you have to build enough value in it to sell it for $97. I am pretty sure each and every one of you can do that. It doesn't matter what you think you know or you don't know, there's always something that you can probably build around to create a $97 product from. It could be a hobby, it could be an interest that you have, it could be just about anything. If you don't feel comfortable creating your own products, there are so many good quality PLR products out there that we could use those to create our $100,000 a year income. In fact, that's why I recommend many times the sale of high quality PLR products, because it takes the development of those products off your shoulders. And with PLR, you can brand them, you can add bonuses to them, you can put your own spin on it, you can set it up in a way that makes it unique to you so that you have a $97 value there that you can sell. So it's very important, but you only need one product to make $100,000 at $97. So develop it yourself or PLR is up to you. My recommendation is if you don't feel like creating your own product, use PLR. If you feel like you've got a product in you and you want to get it out and get your message out, then develop it yourself. Now remember, all the traffic that we're going to generate goes into our lists. And the one that we always think about is email lists. But we also have buyers. We probably have buyers of previous products and services that you've offered. That's a buyer's list. You can also go out and buy buyer's lists from other people. People rent their buyer's lists. Those are one of the most valuable lists that you can have and that you can promote to. And then you have mailing lists, so physical mailing address of your customers. Are you sending them physical mail? That's just another way that people are not utilizing that is a great way to make sales. And all you need is just 3 sales a day. And then retargeting lists. And we're going to be talking more about retargeting lists in the future, in future weeks. But all of the different kinds of lists that you can create can make you money. And I want you to start saying from now on, every single day, I want you to repeat to yourself, just 3 sales a day. Just 3 sales a day. Just 3 sales a day. So remember our maps? Well, this is exactly how we do it. The traffic goes to our lists. Everything that we've been talking about is about generating traffic. Well, what do we do with the traffic once we get it? We have to funnel them into our lists, and then from our lists into automated sales funnels. And with all of the different traffic sources and all of the different traffic that we're going to be generating to our pages, into our landing pages, we can generate 3 buyers a day. It's not that tough. And this is all there is to it. Just 3 sales a day from all of the different traffic that we're going to be generating into our list through an automated sales funnel. Will generate 3 buyers a day. So everything in the brackets here is automated. This part is not. This is the part where you need to concentrate and focus your attention on, because this is where all of the money is. Everything else can be automated to generate those 3 buyers a day, but here is where the really concentration and focus needs to be on your business. So the question is, what happens to your business without an automated sales funnel? The answer is you're not spending your time on traffic and conversions. And traffic and conversions is where all of the money is. Instead, you're probably spending your time doing 1,000 other things that don't really matter in your business. Traffic and conversions equal sales. And we've been talking a lot about landing pages, traffic, converting those landing pages. And now with the turning point that we just created, the turning point in this program, we're going to be talking about generating sales. What are the steps to a six-figure income? Step number 1 is only spend your time on getting traffic and learning how to convert it at a profit. Absolutely critical. Number 2, automate everything on the back end. That includes getting leads into your sales funnel, following up, making the sale, and delivering the product. And step number 3, get all the leads you can. Let your automated system work for you. All right, that's it for today, guys. Tomorrow we're going to talk about creating our first six-figure sales funnel.